Hey guys, Dr. Ben here. Welcome to a Power Pack Brokerpreneur Byte. Get ready to dive into proven strategies for recruiting top talent, retaining your best agents, and skyrocketing sales in the next 10 minutes. I'm your host, of course, Dr. Ben Spears, along with our real estate guru, Matt Vi. Join us as we unravel the secrets to take your brokerage to new heights. Let's dive in.
This next bait we're talking about is actually live bait.
This Not is where to be confused with fishing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe I love fishing, so maybe only to be confused with fishing. These are things that maybe you're teaching in person and you're putting bait out there to basically sell a ticket, let's say, or it's an online webinar or just different things that you're doing. We do some online events for our clients all the time that allows them to basically invite people online and say, hey, come listen to this, and then I'll talk to you about it afterward.
And then we use it for bait later too, right?
Yep, that's exactly right. But whenever you're getting people to click on your starter bait, your baits that you're putting out there, if you can retarget, those people have already raised their hand and said, yeah, I'm somewhat interested in this. Maybe they didn't give you their email address, right? But you've tracked them with that Facebook pixel or that or Instagram or LinkedIn pixel, and now they're seeing all the time, oh, this live event's coming up. This live event's coming up. And it's, oh, that's that guy or gal who was talking to me about the top 3 listing strategies. I bet this live event is pretty good. Yeah, maybe that's a little bit more value that I'm going to say, okay, I will give you my email address for that.
Right. I completely agree. And it's going to push them off that cliff from a value standpoint.
Yep.
Yeah. And so that can be webinars, right? That can be seminars like you talked about. That can just be classes, right? Give an online class or something like that, or invite people to a Facebook Live that you're going to talk about whatever it is. And so if it's from an agent standpoint, an agent talking to sellers, that could be something like a first-time home buyer seminar that they basically just target everybody. They just get everybody and they send it out to an entire audience within a zip code. And then once they send it out to that entire zip code, those people raise their hand and they end up in that class or that first time home buyer or how to sell your property as a for sale by owner class. And they sign up for it. And everybody that signs up for how to sell your home for sale by owner, now you've got the names of all the people that are contemplating selling, right?
Yeah, that's exactly.
But from a recruiting bait standpoint, because that's really geared towards agent. But from a recruiting bait standpoint, you're going to say something more along the line of how to list 10 more properties over the next 120 days. And then you talk to them about doing that web or seminar that's for the for sale by owners or expireds. So that bait is going to build on itself. And the cool part is this says live, right? But once you've done it one time, if you've done a fantastic job of it one time, you can always record it, right? And then re-offer that recording back at some other point later.
That's exactly right. I love it. Just because something is live doesn't mean that it doesn't have a shelf life.
Right.
Right. Too many times when I'm on a digital marketing company, there would be agents who they would go live, they would go live. And that was great. You're supposed to do that. Right. But it would just be like, okay, now that's going into the ecosphere, the ethos, and I'm never going to be able to use it again. And it was just like, no, there's great information there. Pull a clip out of this, show the whole thing again next week. The majority of the people who even follow you didn't even know that you were live or didn't even listen, right? To just over and over, just, hey, we did this live class. Here's this. You can do this. You can do this once a month.
Right. Just do a great job with the same class. And then you're actually on there live with them.
Yep.
So you start the webinar going and all the content is there. And for lack of a better way of putting it, the video is playing. And then you're just live in the chat answering questions as the broker that's talking about how to do those things. So there's a bunch of different ways. So keep in mind, live means live. Don't say that it's live and it not be that way. But that doesn't mean you can't use the recording. And you just say at the very beginning of it, hey guys, what we're going to do is we're going to listen to this recording, but I'm here and I'm in the chat and I'm going to answer questions. And if there's any great questions that come up, what I'll do is I'll pause where we're at and then I'll answer those questions. I'll answer those questions for us right now. That again is live, but now you're not having to redo that whole thing every time.
Yeah, absolutely. And from an efficiency standpoint, that's a must. right? Because everyone knows, we hear the things, right? You should be recruiting 40% of the day,
Right.
40% of your day or whatever. And you're like, what in the world? Who in the world has time to do that? So
Right.
from an efficiency standpoint, that's where it's so important to to use these baits, to use these lead magnets,
Yep.
to use these videos, to use this content, to literally be out there and recruiting for you while you're handling Got a Minutes and putting
Right.
out fires and doing your other things from a broker standpoint.
Yeah, you hit it. You hit it exactly. It's efficiency.
Yep.
It's being able to do things efficiently.
Yeah. You want to, and once you're efficient, you want to level up.
Right. That's right.
And that's what we're talking about next.
That's right. That's the next bait. So that's when you're already good at something. So we don't have this, okay? But I'm going to make believe like we have this, okay? So
Okay.
everybody just play along. So let's say that we already have the something written for pixels, meaning that I know you've got the one course that's the Facebook course, and I'm sure it discusses pixels in there. But as we're going through this conversation, let's say that we're talking a little bit more about how to retarget and everything. And if we had that bait now, we would say, guys, if you really want to dig into pixels and you really want to learn more about how to do more with pixels, then go to www.pixelbait.com and just download that free guide. That would be leveling up. Okay, because what's happened is you already have a certain level of knowledge on something and you already pre-qualified and you've already vetted the audience to a certain point, and now it's time to take them to that next level. It's time to take them into that next big step of how they can that next big step of how they can generate more opportunities for themselves.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And yeah, we do have just to clarify for everyone, we do have a little course or a little guide about how to do Facebook ads. If that's something that anybody is interested in, send me send me an email, ben@prospectboomerang.com. I'll send that to you. And if we get enough people to do it, and there's not a lot about that necessarily about pixel targeting in there, or retargeting, but it definitely gives you the bare bones of how to build a Facebook ad. But on top of that, if there's enough people who are interested, I will do a little live webinar and we'll go through it. I'll share my screen and we'll retarget some people who came to our website, and I'll show you how to do that.
Nice. That's awesome. If you're out there in podcast land and you hear all the time from people about retarget and you're not doing a whole lot of it, or you're having to pay somebody else to do it, now's your chance to get on there with an expert and let them show you how to do it. So just reach out to him and Ben will talk to you about it. Oh, so that's that leveling up, right? So let's talk about that from a bait standpoint for agents, right? And then a bait standpoint for recruiting. If you're trying to get the attention of agents out there, that would be something like how to convert more listing appointments. Not how to get more listing appointments, but how to convert more listing appointments, because that's the next level, right? If they're doing what they're supposed to and they're getting 75% of their appointments, now it's time to level up and get 80 or 90% of the appointments that they're going on.
Yep.
So that's that kind of thing. That's how you would retarget that person. And you can see how that would make more sense for an experienced agent, right? And that's going to really be geared towards certain people. And so if you're trying to change some of what you're doing with your agent population and who's on your roster, think about your bait, because that's going to make a big difference. And look at that level up bait. From a recruiting standpoint, you're gonna have to be a little bit more specific and a little bit more targeted. You could do things like how to break into the luxury market. Right.
Yeah.
That's going to be real. And so that from a recruiting standpoint, that's going to the 3 tools that top luxury agents use. Something like that is going to be what you're going to need in order to take it to that next level in business and attract those agents that you really want to have.